Hello, Dacha Hao Leho, and welcome to another episode of How to Be a Movie Snob. Tonight we're trilingual, folks. Actually, we should be 4 or 5 lingual. I think it's at least quadlingual. Quadlingual, but trilingual for most of the movie. Let's just be real. Guys, 我的名字是 Seth. Nina.
我的名是 Pat.
Nice, not bad.
Hi, I'm Mariah.
That'll be the other one too.
This is one of the other languages.
I apologize for my bad pronunciation. The sad part is that I've got no excuse for having bad pronunciation since I've lived in one of these places for a long time. Folks,
we could say it's been a long time, but you're probably bad at it.
I was probably bad at it when I lived there as well. Let's just be real. Guys, we have a doozy, and no, I do not know how to say that in another language. So we're sticking with English on that one.
Doozy.
I'm excited for today because this is it's going to be kind of a reprise of a lost episode as well. We are doing a movie tonight, which was not our top movie for this director, but it's still one of the movies I've always kind of wanted to see. And so I was excited to kind of jump back in this world. And then as soon as I jumped back in, all the memories of the last movie came flooding back. It was just immediately, and I wanted to go back and relive the other movie again. That's how much this movie had an effect on me that made me want to watch another movie? Question mark? Is that a good thing?
I mean, that's probably good.
Guys, we got a movie tonight that not only is quadlingual, it's got such nostalgia from a certain period of time. The clothes, the hair, the tech,
the music.
The music. Oh, the music. Both songs that were used in this movie to a arguably nauseating degree. There's just a lot in this movie that takes me back to a different time and a different place. And Mariah, what movie are we going to be talking about tonight?
We're talking about Wong Kar-wai's Chungking Express.
And Pat, what year does this lovely cinematic experience take place?
Oh dear.
No, sorry.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that.
1994.
1994.
I was in high school.
Mariah was in high school. Pat, you were diapers.
You guys were
still?
not in high school yet.
I was barely not in high school.
I should have worn diapers.
Barely not in high school. You beat me by a year. So, this movie stars the amazing Tony Leung, who we know from basically everything you've ever seen in Hong Kong, and the mainland, and frankly in American movies now too. So way to go, Tony.
He's a face. He's a face we know.
He's on. I don't know if he's on the Mount Rushmore of Hong Kong actors, but darn it, he might be. He might be on the Rushmore of Hong Kong actors. That's a good argument, though. I'll come back to that. That was just spur of the moment. So
they also don't
he's on
have
my
a
Mount Rushmore.
Of
Because
Hong
seemingly
Kong
he's in
actors.
every Hong Kong movie we've watched.
Yeah, well, yeah, him and he hasn't been in too many Bruce Lee movies, but other than that, you're right. I will give you that. It also stars a singer who I will call Wong Fei, but in Wikipedia they will call her Fei Wong because her family name is Wong, and her given name is Fei, and in Mandarin it'd be Fei, but in this we're going to say Fei like the English spelling, which is Faye, I believe, for her name. And of course, her character in the movie is also Fei, which is nice. We also have the amazing actress from Taiwan, Bridget Lin. She is a little older than Miss Fei, and we'll talk about her involvement because that's kind of an interesting one as well. And then the actor I'm not as familiar with, I recognize his face, but is Takeshi Kaneshiro. Did I say that right?
You're asking the wrong.
I'm asking the wrong people here. Okay.
You said it. You gave it an effort.
There we go. I'm going to go with that. And he is kind of the first gentleman we see who you kind of think is the main star, but we'll get into that too because we're talking about a Wong Kar-wai movie, so there's no rules anymore. We just do what we want, folks, and we'll get into that. But before we get into all that, we like to start out with a little segment called Cold Brews and Hot Takes. Coming from you live across the seas We're going to go from across the Columbia Sea. Patrick, what's your hot take? And what are you drinking?
Nailed it.
Sea of Columbia.
Okay. Roll on.
I got rid of my can already, so I can't show you, but I believe it's a phase dust from Elysian.
Ooh.
It's like,
That's interesting.
That is
weirder than a space dust. I don't know. My hot take is, among many things, this movie is it's a more unhinged Amelie.
Ooh.
I think is my hot take.
I too was thinking this is
Wow.
reminiscent of Amelie.
Not one bit. That's great. I
Really?
love that. Yeah.
If Amelie was a stalker.
It totally. Well, actually,
It's
that's
like
pretty
the
good.
the second half of the movie specifically.
Yeah.
For
is
sure.
Unhinged Amelie.
For sure.
And then you just go, it's just unhinged,
That's
altogether.
great. Okay. I like that. Okay, Mariah, do you want to go second or do you want me to? I know you like to let it
I
rumble
like
in
to
the.
come up with it as people
Yeah,
are talking.
I know. I
it's
love
like
that.
deciding what I'm going to order at a restaurant.
You
too.
like when
Go
one-
ahead, guys. By the time you're done, I'll come
figure
up
mine
with
out.
To my side.
something.
Okay, my hot take then would be this is either the worst or the best Del Monte commercial I've ever seen. Because all the fruits and all the canned goods were Del Monte. So I'm not sure you could take it either way on that one. Still tastes good even the day of expiration, guys, in case you're wondering. Del Monte. This is not sponsored, by the way, by Del Monte.
Yeah, I
But
bet
it could be.
Could be, though.
they probably didn't back this
And
one.
I am drinking a special private reserve from the Northwest. My pal Henry Dubb. It's a very, very underground beer here in Oregon. Okay, it's not. It's kind of like.
Nice.
It's kind of like the. Is it our Coors? Is that what we'd say? Not even that. I don't even know what you compare it to. Our PBR. It's like the Northwest, or is it more like the Northwest, like hams?
Yeah, it's
Could be.
like
Yeah. Anyways, it's on that level, guys. It's right around that level. Okay, Mariah, now that you simmered, you've seen what we've ordered. We got a little can of pineapples on my side, and a little
Yeah. Man, I'm really
little
looking
French-
forward to not talking about pineapple.
a little
for a
French
bit.
baguette on Pat's side. Let's see what you order. Oui, oui. Oh, mess it.
Oh, are we still looking at me to
Oh my
decide
gosh,
on
this
something?
is okay. Well, on that, seriously, no hot take for the old Wong Kar-wai movie. This movie's bonkers, and you got nothing.
Right,
like,
that's
is it just
kind
too
of the-
much?
Yeah.
Hot take. Okay.
That could be your hot take. It's
There we
just
go.
bonkers.
Yeah, the hot take was
Are we just gonna move on to a different
Whoa.
storyline? So we just move on to a different storyline here.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's start a new one.
Start a new one. Okay. Guys, I want initial reactions coming from here. Because this is my first time watching this movie. I assume it's your first time watching as well.
For sure. Absolutely.
I have heard of this movie.
Yes. I've heard the name.
Yes. And I've heard the cultural influence was still, I feel, prevalent in mainland China when I was there. And I never quite figured it out. And so watching this movie, it explained a lot of things that I saw. And now I'm fascinated with this movie for a couple of different reasons. Because I was like, so that was kind of fun for me on that part. So, and the biggest one, I don't think I can express this enough, is seeing Wong Fei acting. That was crazy to me. It's probably a bigger deal than Whitney Houston being in The Bodyguard. Like, that's like Wong Fei is.
So you knew her as a pop star.
She's the pop star of China. Like, it would be the biggest pop star in America in a movie. Like,
Okay.
not only like, because you have to understand the history of China. We just went through a pretty rough time where popular music basically didn't exist. And so by the time I got there in the early 2000s, the pop scene is finally like established itself. It's just blowing up. It's got all these things, but Wong Fei is the queen of pop in China. Like, not even close. Like, there's another person who's before her, but when I was there, this is the biggest pop star, female pop star on the planet. and this is like on her rise. So I don't know if this is akin to Whitney Houston being in The Bodyguard, because that was like a little bit later in Whitney's career. So that's
it's like Britney Spears in Crossroads. Or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Nice. I guess, well, Lady Gaga's, it's hard because she's been in some stuff that's actually critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
So that would be my only thing. So the big thing for me was like, I couldn't get over her and her character. Because at least in Whitney, in The Bodyguard, I can believe that's Whitney Houston. Like, that's like, she's kind of acting like Whitney Houston. You know, I'm a pop, but.
Well, yeah, that is her role.
That is her role.
Madonna
Wong
and
Fei,
who's that girl?
Yeah, who's that girl? Britney Spears and Crossroads, frankly. So
yeah, not big stretchy parts.
no, so the only
se.
and even Lady Gaga and A Star Is Born, like these are all not that crazy of a departure. So to see her do this, I'm like, that's some like legit crazy. You're becoming the biggest pop star in the history of China, and you're in this kooky part, which is so fun. I loved that so much, how kooky her character was.
Bjork and Dancer in the Dark.
Yeah, except Bjork's Bjork. Again,
She's
that
not a
makes
pop
sense.
queen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not quite. I mean,
They
she
did
is-
say she is the Bjork of Asia in that she has got a weird relationship with the media or something like that. I did see
Yeah.
that comparison.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
She's kind
Yeah,
of
it kind of-
aloof and
Yeah, kind of.
Distant.
We're also where you think of the Amelie thing. Like she's kind of like a little bit of a sprite kind
yeah, a
of
little
person.
weird pixie person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, for me, I couldn't get over that. Also, let's just be real. It took me a second. I kept waiting for the stories to come back together.
Yeah.
And then I realized,
Yep.
oh, it's Wong Kar-wai.
The only connecting
what you
thread
want.
They came
is
together.
food.
It's food. Yeah.
Food and uniforms.
So good.
Food and Faye buying the lion apparently happened in part one.
Oh,
but I
that's
didn't
so great.
notice because I didn't know who that was. I didn't know that was a character to pay attention to, right? So I honestly struggled. Here's my first impression. One was like part one, I thought this guy is really creepy. And
Did you mean romantic?
Yeah.
they kept talking about, like the closest you'll be at 0.01 like centimeters or whatever. It's like closest I ever got. It's like, no, that's not true. She like laid on you, man. Like, but then we get to the second story, and I'm like, wait, is Faye the other girl?
Yeah.
Like,
for sure. The very first moment, I was.
I
little
thought she went
confused.
into like
Yes.
hiding,
Yes.
and then I was like, oh no, that's not
Yeah.
who it is.
Yeah. You did often just look at her and going, was she going to take that
I was like, when
wig
she's
off
not
and she'll
old,
be like revealed as
you know.
someone? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I kept trying to connect it, and the movie is like, you're barking up the wrong tree, guy. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
this is a very loose connection,
Yeah.
and that way it sort of felt like Jim Jarmusch, like Coffee and Cigarettes or something, right?
Yes.
Like, these are just stories taking place at this location. They don't connect,
No.
or
Exactly right.
4 rooms or whatever that Quentin Tarantino wrote. I forget who directed it, but
That's a good one.
you know what I mean? Like, it's the location is the common thing, not any of.
Yeah.
And I guess the restaurant owner or the deli owner, I don't know, the express
the
place owner.
cousin. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's related to
That's right.
everybody, seemingly.
Yeah. Right. Oh man. Yeah. So that was the other
But
one. that was
I
Christian, too.
kept looking for a thing, and I didn't find it. But I found myself, when we got to the second story, far more captivated, because it was touching on like the quirky stuff again, like weird, way weirder. Even Anomaly's weird. Like, this is like, all these people have problems, like
yeah.
actual problems.
They're like disassociating from reality in a
and
lot
like,
of moments.
He
Lot of
should,
moments.
not to get too far into it, he should have thought he was going insane.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And he's just like, okay, like, yeah, the soap got bigger. I guess it's emotionally,
Oh, it's so good.
overeating. And you're
I was
my
joke-
guy, you're
Oh.
a cop.
Yeah.
Not a detective, just a cop.
Yeah, not a good. If he was a detective in this, he wasn't a good one.
I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking about my wife going, "Yeah, that makes sense." Seth doesn't notice a dang thing either.
Yeah.
Freaking
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
am I right?
Yeah,
Am
all
I
the,
right?
All the fish coming in and out.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Oh my goodness.
I could literally see my wife
Yeah.
going, "You didn't notice that the fish were
Yeah.
dead for like 2 days? No, didn't even know.
No.
Oh, you added like a whole new tank? No, didn't notice that.
Yeah.
I cut all my hair. No, didn't. Sorry, I just."
Oops.
I was like, this guy's relatable. Finally. They're showing men in the real light right
Finally.
here. Finally, they're like, Hong Kong cinema is showing us in the correct light.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's.
Well,
I-
Mariah,
Oh, yeah,
did you,
Mariah.
yeah, what were your first
I was gonna
impressions?
say,
Yeah, my first impression. Well, the first story of this, the first whole thing, like, I was like, this doesn't feel very Wong Kar-wai to me. This is not the experience I had the first time I watched one of his movies.
Action
this
movie.
is not where I'm seeing like
90s blur.
also the whole like jilted.
Yes. Oh
the
my
whole,
gosh. So
Loved
90s.
it.
The
Loved
whole
it.
jilted part of it too.
Yes.
It was like you never see May. You don't know really anything about May. You don't ever connect with like a face.
No.
It's just
That's a feeling.
there's something that just felt really awkward. Like I just never I couldn't get into his part of the story. What I did enjoy the first part of it is the beginning of the comic relief, like just a little bit touched in some areas where, he eats all the pineapple. The funniest part for me was when he's offering it to a homeless guy and he's like, "This is expired," and he like gives it back.
Yeah.
And the whole deep conversation about expiration dates.
Oh, it's so hilarious.
There were
I wish.
I didn't like the love story piece of it in the beginning. The first story.
Because there wasn't one.
Yeah, it was just like it was like one of those misconnections from Willamette Week, like
Yeah.
I saw you on the maps and you were
Yeah.
it was a misconnection.
Wow.
And it was like, boy, this guy, nobody's going to read the article he posted about that. Nobody's going to connect with him later.
He called up, like, the reality of the situation could have been, based off everything I know about that character, is May is someone he kind of vaguely knew, and she was nice to him one night, and he thought they were dating, and he built some fake relationship with her.
But he talks to her parents like they're so
Right.
close.
No, I called for
Yeah.
you. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a good bit.
And then all the
And
other
then he
people he
called-
starts calling.
No, you
He
said
called his, like, fourth grade.
so good.
Like, oh
That was
my
a great
gosh.
bit. Great bit. I was
It
dying.
was funny, but it was like, this man is insane.
I was waiting for him and Tony Leung's character to interact. I was excited for that moment because
Yeah.
Tony Leung's character is like, manic depressive, funny on that level, but like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then the goofball who's trying to hit on everything that moves.
Well, yeah.
Like,
and then my issue with the transition was that it felt like, and it took some getting used to, and I did get into it and really enjoyed the second half, but the transition was just kind of like, oh, so we just replaced everybody? Like, did you just, that guy
Recast.
that guy got sick and he couldn't do the rest of the movie, so we're just going to bring in this other
So
guy and
good.
pick up the same-ish storyline and make
Yeah,
it work.
like
I was
it's
just so confused.
Kind of the same.
Yeah. And then, confused
also-
about which girls fit with which situation. And
Yeah.
I didn't think we were with Tony
it took
Leung.
me a long time to get.
I didn't think we were with Tony Leung when we were doing the 633.
Yeah.
I thought we were still with 223 when they had the flight attendant like love rendezvous. Like I missed the face swap. Then I'm like, oh, that was Tony Leung the whole time. What the? Then it's like
Yeah.
my brain like had like readjust. I'm like, oh, so that makes his story makes more sense. So I had that switch.
Yeah.
Because I kept thinking like, because they went back in time, but
Yeah.
I thought it was literally 223 now sleeping with Tony Leung's ex-girlfriend. That's what I thought was going on.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
It
Well,
took-
you're trying to make this movie make more connections. Like,
And I don't know why we
Why?
thought we would be able to do that.
Wong Kar-wai.
Yeah.
Did you not read that it's directed by Wong Kar-wai?
But
Why
you
did he
still,
make-
I feel like he just always makes you want to try and figure it out, and there's nothing to
Yes.
figure
Oh,
out.
so great.
Yeah, why did he make
Mission
why did he
accomplished.
make them both cops?
Yeah.
Especially
it's
so
a buddy
here's the
cop
other
movie.
big misdirect. We open on a detective that we're being set up to fall in love
Yes.
with a criminal
Yep, which is great. Love
with
that
the
premise.
idea that might pay off in some way. Nope.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
No.
Didn't matter at all.
it's
Well,
like-
and then the wig lady getting, shooting the drug guy.
Oh, that was great, by the way.
I was like,
love the action
this
scenes.
side
this is killing it.
story was like completely what?
Yeah. Well, that's where I thought when we transitioned, this was her leaving that life and like now starting a new one as this like shop girl.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't think that's the same person.
No.
But she's, they kept talking about how she's older. And I was like, you got big glasses and a big wig. I can't tell how old you are.
No.
Yeah, no, I knew.
And then I was
And
like,
you're
okay, well,
Chinese
wait.
and
Definitely
you
older.
have beautiful face that doesn't
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, no, she looked.
how would we have known?
I don't know. She looked old to me.
We didn't live there.
Compared to Wong Fei, I was like, yeah, she old.
Yeah,
Right.
sure.
But that's where I was like, wait a minute. Like,
Yeah, no, no,
this
she.
person is
Yeah.
not
No,
old.
she looked old.
So
you guys,
I was
you
very
guys are being
confused.
nice.
But at the same time, this really did.
Sorry, Bridget,
fit
you didn't
into-
look young. I'm
But
just
in a
gonna say it
weird
right
way,
now.
this movie did really fit
She looked
into like the '90s rom-com vibe.
Oh man.
That you just knew, like it was what Pyromaniac's love story, Addicted to Love, like all those like
Mall
kooky
rats
people,
or
yeah,
whatever,
little
like,
mall rat,
Nice.
yeah. But it was, I definitely was like, oh, I feel like I've watched some of this, like before. The way these people
Yes.
are, like she's sneaking into his apartment and doing all this weird stuff, and it reminds me of like Meg Ryan from Addicted to Love, and like she's in her ex's apartment and like doing weird things.
That's
there's-
great.
And we tolerated a lot of like
Invasions
socially
of privacy.
Yeah, like real stalkery stuff
Yeah.
in the rom-coms of the 90s and early 2000s.
They
It's
just
like,
showed.
that's charming because they just
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
them so much.
Or like truth about cats and dogs. People are just lying to each other. Like you're just not even a real person.
We forget how awful the past was every time. Everyone,
But man, I loved all those movies
me too.
so much.
And even the stuff in like the 70s and the 60s is like, this is really more rapey than we
it's
ever are
fairly
used to.
problematic.
Yeah. So and
Yeah.
people are like, oh, it's so hard right now. I'm like, yeah, but we actually know that things are wrong and bad. Back then, we just kind of called people handsy.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Oh.
that guy's so charming. Where's my mom, by the
Yeah.
way?
Watch out for the guy in the crosswalk. He's a little bit handsy with the kids. What? That was like a thing. That was like a conversation. Like I remember
just
people
stay
saying in the 80s.
away.
Yeah, stay away from Uncle Phil. He's I don't know. Yeah, right? Like what the heck? So I don't know. Is the 90s again is not that far from the 80s, which wasn't that far from the 70s. So it's just, it's all kind of
Seth,
that realization.
Slowly adjusting.
related, unrelated, but
Yeah.
something that came across as insane to me.
I can't wait for
But
this.
it's probably just a cultural difference.
Oh, here we go. Because I know.
They were serving chef salads in tinfoil
Okay.
wraps.
Yeah.
What? Who's ever served a salad in a folded tinfoil?
What you got it to go. I mean, what are you talking about? Like, it makes sense to me. I don't like you.
Nope.
You go to a Greek restaurant and get a little like
A
the-
Chef
salad?
salad. If I ordered a chef salad and
Yeah.
they plopped down a wrapped tinfoil thing,
Like,
I'd
I
be
think
like,
you
that's
got
not
this-
mine.
Yeah, this is someone's sandwich.
I
Let's-
didn't order a
is-
hot dog.
Let's
I ordered a salad.
first of all, let's talk about
And why are those the only choices?
let's talk about chef salad really quick.
Fish and chips,
You thi-
chef salad.
You think
Hot
they're
dog,
really
pizza.
serving fish and chips and a chef
kept
salad
escalating.
on the streets next to the Chungking Mansion? Please. That's just the translation they picked for whatever's really being sold. So I already am like, first of all, fish and chips. And
What is this code
No,
for?
this is not. This
Well,
is,
and he went
there's some
hot
other
dog and
dish.
pizza, and we never saw any of those things. I think we saw hung. It almost looked like falafel meat in the
Yeah.
back. You know?
And then the food they're actually eating looks like normal Hong Kong food, not like
well,
whatever
wait, when
they're,
they're eating on the
not
street.
whatever they're
We never
translating
saw-
it to be.
Except for
we never saw them
the first
eat
half.
from the restaurant.
Yeah,
yeah,
for
Tony
the first.
Long was always eating the other place.
Yeah, he was always in the other place in the market area. But that was the other part. Not only was it like the binge eating of the pineapple, but also how much that guy consumed while the
That's a
wig
quick
lady
take.
was sleeping in the hotel
yeah.
or apartment or whatever.
So many, and he's just grabbing food off the. I
like,
was very upset
I
by
had
that.
was
4
confused by
chef
this.
salads.
Okay,
and
we
then
gotta talk
he's
about the
eating-
plot, guys. Come on. Okay, so here
There's
we go.
salads.
no plot.
He
I
did
just told
have-
you it's a 90s rom-com.
He did have
weird one.
burgers and fries in the hotel,
He had
yeah.
but then he
everything.
mentioned
He had-
4 chef salads.
Everything. He had every food.
Chef salad.
Yeah.
I guarantee
No,
you
that
that's
was
what
the
it was.
story. I think it
That's
was
so
just
funny.
food.
So
Just
much.
about food. Wong Kar Wai wanted to
it's-
order.
So, yeah, I love it so much. Okay, so
It's just a fever dream, this thing.
yeah, so I guess we've kind of said the plot, but story. There's 2 stories in this movie. For those
It's
of
not
you
really a plot.
who not listeners, stay with me here.
There's two situations.
I have my detractors called Pat and Mariah.
2 situations happen.
We got 2 plots, and the first one, and they're both.
I
cops.
think I read Roger Ebert was like, if you're watching this movie for a plot, you shouldn't be watching this movie.
No, this
It's
is
not
a
that
this
kind
is
of
a
movie.
film.
It's not that kind of
This
film,
is a
kid.
film
These are
appreciators movie. You want to
Yeah,
see some
it's just-
cinematography? You want to see? This is something to watch, but please don't look for something,
Police
which
officer-
I
Alright,
did
let's
the whole
try.
time.
Police officer 1 is a forlorn, lovesick cop who goes to this normal restaurant and is trying to get back with his ex-girlfriend, so he buys a bunch of almost expired pineapple. And then he meets up with a woman.
At least he talks
what
to
you
his
just said-
dog, though.
Yep,
At least guy's
Oh, yeah,
talking to
poor
a
dog on the
living
table.
creature.
that's true.
Seth, what
Maybe
you
he's
just
more
said
sane.
is if
Yeah.
you said it as if that was normal. This guy broke up with his girlfriend, so he
Yeah.
bought a bunch of pineapple.
yeah.
With a
'Cause
specific
she likes
expiration
pineapple,
date.
and it's been
She
a
liked
month
it.
from once he broke up. It all makes sense.
Her
Pat.
name was May. It was April 1st.
exactly
and
right.
His
May
birthday's
1st.
May 1st.
Exactly right. So
And
This is-
obviously
she
she'll be
liked
back
pineapple.
on May.
This
1st.
is the structure.
It made sense.
He's
It
gonna
just
give it a month.
Pat, this just makes sense in love. I mean, this is like
Yeah,
your
yeah.
classic Hollywood story.
Yeah. All right. So that's happening. Go on.
Meanwhile, in the underworld of the Chungking Mansion, there's another woman who's selling probably drugs
For
and
sure.
using
For sure.
some I'm assuming Indian immigrants to Hong Kong, which is actually very. If you go to Chungking Mansion, for anyone who's been there, it is a strange mix of Indian and Chinese and mainland Chinese culture. A lot of Indian food. The best Indian food. Well, you'll probably get sick because it's like it really is that tight of a quarters. Like I have stayed in the Chungking Mansion, and it's as ghetto as it looks. So, and it's the Chungking Mansion. It's just huge. It's this huge place with like ridiculously small spaces. Most of Hong Kong's gorgeous, nice, expensive, and rich, but that is like the ghetto of the ghettos. And so you get. And
Where you
it's in the
can
middle
see
of
an
downtown.
escalator out of your apartment.
Oh, yeah. And there's bamboo scaffolding everywhere. It is the craziest thing. Like this whole thing, how is it even... Anyways. So then she's using these probably Indian immigrants to smuggle drugs. And then she loses them.
She lost
Yeah,
the
and
mules.
it's actually a pretty cool thing. Like they all got offered money to do this.
Yes.
And then they got fit for a tailor and shoes so they could make custom clothing and shoes that would hide drugs in all these little secret compartments.
It's pretty cool.
It was quite a little scheme. It felt like it was moving quickly.
Yeah.
They bought all these suitcases. It felt like a good production. And then she turns around for like 2 seconds at the airport or train station, and they're all gone. I thought
It happened so quickly. I had to go back and rewatch because I was like, wait,
We've all
what?
been there. We've all
she
been
literally
there, guys.
wandered.
Where
20
did my
feet
mules
away
go?
And
Ugh.
turned around, all of her drugs were gone.
So obviously she finds the one person who knew them and stole her and kidnapped their daughter and took her out to ice cream,
really.
as one does
Yeah.
when you're trying to get people back. Because she knew that guy had a heart of gold. A lot of people just leave their daughter, but no, not this one.
Yeah,
This one knew.
She found a good one.
Well, and she bought her ice cream.
Yep.
She wasn't.
Lots of ice cream.
Lots of ice cream. I got sick watching that part. Maybe
But,
more
but
sick about
watching
the
the
ice cream.
pineapple consumption, that was
That's fine.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
And barfing it in an urinal.
Totally fine. Yeah, why the urinal?
With
Why
your
didn't you-
face way too close in there.
Way too close to the cakes. That was so true. Why not the toilet? Okay. So then this woman, I forget, then she goes and starts shooting a bunch of people. This is where I kind of lose the plot a little bit.
She's out.
She
Well,
got mad at
people
the
were
drug
chasing her
guy.
down
Yeah. So I guess that's the other people.
because
drug
she
lord.
lost the drugs.
Oh, lost the drugs. That's right.
And so, yeah, she's kind of on the run. She ends up going to this bar because
CD
it's been
bar.
a long day.
Yep.
She was
Meets up
very
with our
tired.
cop buddy, who
Mr.
was
223.
really trying to hit on her.
Amo.
In 4
Very annoyingly.
languages.
Again.
Khajru.
No means no, guy. You know?
Wears her down till she needs a nap and takes her back.
Hey,
Yeah.
they didn't do anything funny. They didn't do any funny business. They just were in the same apartment.
No,
right,
they didn't.
guys?
But
he
like,
he's a
cleans
gentleman.
her shoes.
Yeah, he's a
with his
woman.
tie,
A woman that pretty shouldn't have
he
scuffed
used
shoes.
his
guys.
tie.
They
The
were
one thing-
Manolo Blahniks.
The one thing I've learned, guys, is women that pretty should not have shoes that are dirty. That's the one thing that we can take away. From
Yeah.
This movie.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I just wondered, was there not a washcloth in the bathroom he could have used?
It was all
He
shredded.
was really all about whatever he could reach is kind of what his life was. Like what
Whether it
food
be-
is
Also,
up
there's
here
a
on
weird-
or
this
what woman he
table.
can reach on the telephone. That
Yeah.
was good.
So we kind of got A story, B story. There's a C story about jogging and how it's not a group activity.
Oh yeah,
Did
I
you
forgot
get
about
that?
part? Yeah, that's right.
Some girl was like, "We should go jogging." He's like, "Why would we go jogging?" And I thought,
And I'm like, I like this guy.
yeah. But then he's out there jogging in the rain a bunch. Is very
Yeah.
weird. The jogging.
So good.
There's a lot of jogging talk. Anyway, go on. So they've hung out.
They hung out. They had too much to drink. They drink a lot. That's what I should have had. I should have had
They
whatever
had as
whiskey.
many drinks as he had cans of pineapple.
Needless to say,
Which-
he was getting the drinks, by the way, to settle his stomach because that seemed like a smart
And then he
idea.
ordered all of the rest of the food in the entire country and ate
Oh,
that
my
after
goodness.
she
Yeah,
fell
that
asleep.
guy.
Where were they at? Was that
Has-
was that
I
his
thought it was a
apartment?
hotel.
No,
room
it was a
service,
hotel.
Okay,
and
that makes
so
sense.
there was like room service.
Is
and
it room
stuff.
service? Like, is she paying? Like, why is he just? I thought there was like some joke there because there's kind of a joke of this whole time.
I don't know. He watched a couple movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I,
then-
I would have been so exhausted.
Yeah.
Go to sleep.
And then we
Yeah.
cut to story 2.
Well, wait. So the
What'd I miss?
finale of that
Oh, there's a finale. I thought that
is
was a finale.
she leaves.
Oh, that was sweet. Yeah, that's right.
She goes and kills her drug guy who was trying to kill her. And,
Yep.
And we're like, okay, I guess that's good. And then beepers him, sends a message on his beeper, "Happy birthday."
That's right.
Right as he was about to throw away his beeper forever, because no one ever calls
No
him.
one ever calls him. That's such
No one
a
ever
good
gives him
one.
messages,
Oh.
and that made him feel
After his jog.
great.
And he just finished jogging.
His birthday jog in the rain. He got a nice happy birthday message from this woman he's never going to see again, and he felt great.
Oh my goodness.
Life's looking up for this 25-year-old.
Oh my goodness.
Seemingly bad detective, too. Did you also kind of catch that? Like, he hadn't really got any bad guys in, like, forever.
Yeah, forever. Yeah, right. And he was like pretty stoked to call his ex-girlfriend. He's like, I actually got one.
Yeah. So, yeah, that ends what I thought was a pretty tough watch in some ways.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, and yeah, he ate so much almost expired pineapple. What was he putting on it? He peppered it with something.
I
Was
think,
it pepper?
I think it was like a pepper, and
Like-
then there was a hot sauce as well,
Yeah.
which actually was thinking.
Bold choice.
I kind of want to try that actually.
He seemed stoked to eat all that pineapple, though.
Yeah, he wasn't
It didn't
sad.
ever feel like he wasn't having a good time.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I think it was like a chili powder and then
His dog wouldn't eat it, but
or the
so yeah. Then we get to B's story.
unhoused person he offered.
All
some
of
to.
that was about 50 minutes.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that was fish.
Yes. We'll get to
He didn't
that
offer
later.
that guy
No.
pineapple.
That's right. Yeah. The only bummer thing.
And then
So,
what happens?
yeah. I do want to talk about that story 1 before we move to story 2.
Okay, yeah, let's get into it. This is like a 2-episode or 2
really
movie
is.
episode because it
Here
really
we
is
go.
almost 2 in completely unrelated stories.
What I loved about this movie is how Hong Kong it was, and even through one of my favorite parts was, of course, running through the Chungking mansion, which is exactly how it feels, by the way. Creepy, dark. Like, I had a room that was probably as big as, I don't know if you can see this as this table to like this wall, and 2 of us stayed in there. Like, it was just this, and there was a sink in there.
Toy.
Yeah, it's because Hong Kong is really expensive if you're like a shoestring budget traveler, especially after you've been traveling in Southeast Asia, and you go to Hong Kong, you're like, oh, this is actually like real money. This is like American prices, and so then, and Chungking Mansion is the cheapest thing on the island. So that part, I was like, oh yeah, way to have, it's just like the most. You just walk outside and there's people from all over the world there. It's like the most ethnically diverse part of Hong Kong, I swear. And Hong Kong is pretty diverse. And again, this is like the old school Hong Kong. Like, my first time to Hong Kong was early 2000s. And this is still before that, because Hong Kong was kind of the place. Now, arguably the place in Asia is Singapore as like the market capital of Asia, because it's like free enterprise and everyone can go there. Hong Kong now, because of political situations going on, is no longer the Hong Kong was when I was there and when this movie takes place. So it's kind of a fun, like, old Hong Kong, like, nostalgia trip. The other part that was fun is her asking him, saying, oh, do you not speak Cantonese? Oh, and then he tries, I think he speaks Hokkien next. And then he goes to
Mandarin,
English first,
English,
and then he ends with Mandarin. And so they start speaking of Mandarin, and she's like, "Oh, your Mandarin's
no,"
not-"
and he speaks Japanese to one of the girls he calls.
Yep,
too.
yep, Japanese as well, because Hong Kong was not part of World War II. Everyone hates the Japanese, but Hong Kong wasn't on any of the sides during World War II, so they don't hate the Japanese like other parts of Asia does. Sorry, fast forward. So there's a lot of Japanese influence as well. So then when he speaks Mandarin, she's like, "Oh, your Mandarin's pretty good." Like, "Oh yeah, my mom's from Taiwan," or whatever it is, because Taiwan and mainland both speak Mandarin. And so then they start speaking in Mandarin the rest of the time. By the way, half of this movie trips me out because he's speaking in Cantonese the entire first half of the movie, and the narration is in Mandarin. It just blows me away. So I'm like, why is the narration of that he speaks in Mandarin, but the whole time he's using Cantonese? Well, I know why he's using Cantonese on the street, because that's the street language, right? But it's like the formal language is Mandarin.
What do the other actors narrate in Mandarin or Cantonese?
Mandarin. Again,
Okay, so all narration is in Mandarin.
Yes, but they all speak in Cantonese. Or every once in a while, there'll be Mandarin, like, when they spoke to each other in the bar, they started speaking Mandarin. But she was speaking English or Cantonese on the street, which is also very common. This is...
Yeah, there's a smattering of English here and there.
Yes, because everyone speaks a little bit of English, because it's still... By the way, in 1994, this is not part of China. This is part of Britain. This is still a British crown colony. So all of them speak pretty dang good English as well. So this is kind of a fun, like, the end, because then the British get handed over to China in 1995, 99. 99 was Macau, 95 was Hong Kong, I believe. So this is like a year before the handover or whatever. So this is kind of this fun time capsule of Hong Kong in the moment.
Very much the end of an era.
And this, like, switching between languages is standard in Hong Kong, and standard even in southern China, just switching back and forth. Like, we talked to the driver in Cantonese, we talked to the official in Mandarin, talked to the other person talking to me in English, then they're Japanese majors, so they're speaking Japanese to each other. Like, this is like standard fare for like South, specifically Hong Kong. So I love that, but it still tripped me out. And I'm so interested why they spoke
and that
in
they
Mandarin.
made the film that way.
Yes.
So like everybody's gonna have to at some point do some reading because you're not gonna speak all of those unless you are just in Hong Kong.
So I have watched movies in Hong Kong at the theater several times. And I've watched movies in English and I've watched movies in Mandarin. And I don't think I've watched any in Cantonese, ironically enough, because that's like the main language they speak there. When you watch a movie, there is sometimes two, sometimes three sets of subtitles, depending on what the movie's language is. So it's crazy. So you'll see the English subtitles.
It's really creeping up the screen space.
Yeah, exactly right. Because I watched, I forget what movie it was. It was like The Way of the Gun, or it was a pretty fun mainland Chinese movie, I think made by the same guys who did Kung Fu Hustle. But when we're watching it and they're speaking Mandarin, so then by the way, the characters that they use in Hong Kong are traditional characters, and the characters they use in mainland China are modern characters. So then you've got two forms of characters and English going on. Unless they're speaking Mandarin, then they get rid of the traditional. Anyway, so this movie was now it's so Hong Kong. It's so Hong Kong. Speaking of so Hong Kong, if you ever go to the Hong Kong Disneyland,
It's on my list.
it's actually one of my.
I have not been.
It's actually one of my favorite Disneylands I've ever been to, because it's a little smaller. It's on an island, and it's just kind of a cute. It's almost like going to like regular Disneyland is kind of fun because it's a little smaller than like
California.
Disney World.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because Disney World's just massive and huge and whatever else.
Yeah.
But Hong Kong Disneyland is even smaller than California Disneyland. And it just felt kind of like very cute. But the part where it gets trippy is rides like the Jungle Cruise.
Oh, because
There's so much
What-
talking on it.
Yeah. What language
and
is it
what
gonna be?
language
Yeah.
do they use?
There's 3 lines.
You pick which language
Yes,
you're gonna be
you
on.
do. There's a Cantonese line, there's a Mandarin line, and there's an English line. Isn't
Wow.
that crazy?
Whoa.
So you pick your line depending on what language you speak. And since Hong Kong has to study all 3, it's all standard in their education. That's what
Should know
That's
one
wild.
of
should
these.
know one of them. Okay, one more Hong Kong culture factoid, and then we'll move on back to the movie.
That's what people came
know.
here for.
Here we go. So the Mandarin thing was not standard when I first went there. In 2003, 2004, not too many people spoke Mandarin that well unless they had like a relative pretty near in Taiwan or mainland. But when I went there the last time in the later 2010s, everyone was required to speak Mandarin because of the cultural shift because of the political shift of what was going on. So then I use because folks, I speak a little Mandarin. It's not very good, but I speak 0 Cantonese except for like leho, lehoma. But so I was actually communicating better in Mandarin my last time I went to Hong Kong, while the first time I went to Hong Kong, I was using English the whole time. So there's definitely been like a political shift that's changed the language. So the younger Hong Kong people who, if you follow the news, have a rough go here because their political freedoms are different now than they used to be. They now speak more Mandarin because if you have to learn Mandarin in school now, when before you had to learn English. So now their English is getting not as isn't as good as it used to be. Say, for example, in the 90s, like this movie was filmed, 20, 30 years ago. 30 years ago. This movie's 30 years old, by the way, folks.
That's
Which is
crazy.
crazy. And so that's the cultural shift of this movie, and now it would be pretty stark in what was Hong Kong then. What was that? So those were all the things. And also the airport that they're talking about, that closed down in 1999. So that's also old Hong Kong. It used to be like in the middle of Hong Kong, and it was like a scary, like super sharp dive into it. Anyways, there's a lot of kind of fun things about that. So yeah, that's it. Chungking Mansion, fun, craziness. The escalators, those are crazy too. It's the longest continuous escalators in the world. So you can't just ride the escalators in the middle outside forever and ever. So that's kind of a fun thing
Yeah,
as
it was
well.
wild.
Yeah.
Just that.
That's pretty fun
there.
too. So anyways,
The other thing, with part one, because cinematography changes between
Yes.
the stories.
Yes, it does.
With the 90s of it, it was like intro to the real world or something, all the
yes,
low
nice.
shutter speed
That's
or whatever.
Nice. Yes, way to go, Pat. Look
Yeah.
at you.
And it like every now and again there's movies like that you're like, I see. We were all playing with these new toys we had.
Yeah, it was very Ben Stiller reality bites.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, grunge cinema or something where it's like, you don't need a clear picture. We're going to just kind of make it all ethereal. But that was instantly is like the cover where she's got her, Faye or Wong Fei's got her little pixie haircut. And, the colors are kind of bright. It was like that with those immediate shots. I'm like 90s.
Oh, yeah.
It was just so clearly, I don't know, of an era that it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into story 2. We got to talk story 2.
Okay, story 2. Enter Wong Fei. She is a quirky shop employee for her uncle, which I assume is not really her uncle, cousin.
Yeah.
And police officer number 2 comes in, also forlorn in love.
Another recent breakup.
Yep.
Slightly, recently jilted.
He didn't know they were fully broken up yet, but he knew they were kind of on the out.
Well, she left him a letter and he wouldn't read it.
Well, that's later. That's like the second or third time he visited. Left him a letter. Obviously, Faye finds a little liking to him, but in a weird way. She acts like she's not, but she obviously is kind of into him. Fun shenanigans with the rest of the employees. And then
breaking and entering.
Well, we meet on the street. He helps her carry, heavy stuff all the way there. Which
I think she's already been in his house.
The first time she carries it.
Okay.
Because he had to tell her where
he gives her the address.
Yeah.
Well, she already had a key.
She had the key, but she didn't know how to get into his house. She had the key, but that's why she asked for his address.
Smart.
He's like, you should come by sometime. It's like, what's your address? When are you not home?
What shift do you work?
So then she starts, instead of paying the electricity bill, which apparently had to go to some random places to do that for the shop, she would go to his house on his lunch breaks and live a weird little fantasy manipulative life of slow tweaks to his house.
I can't
for
believe
what
figure out
goal I don't really know.
Obviously for him the goal is simple. Like, she changed everything so that she could start to fall in love with her. Like, you're just little subtle things, Pat. Like, remember when I switched all your Cubs gear with my Mets gear? And then I slowly...
And I didn't notice.
You didn't notice?
Or I thought, sure, why did you change? Are you sad?
Didn't even... You shut your mouth. We have a better record than you right now.
I don't know.
We do by like 2 games, I think. You guys are cooking, but we're arguably the second best in the league. I think we have the best record in the league right now. I don't even know. Anyways, sorry.
Anyway,
let's go Mets. We just lost to LA today though, so that sucks. Anywho, yeah, no.
Well,
it seemed like,
but that's the anomaly of it.
Yes, her logic. It was like, obviously, which was so funny when. The best part was when she came over and she plays a CD that she had been blaring every time he comes to the shop. And she's like, oh yeah, it must have been my ex's CD, which I had no idea. That was so funny.
I don't like music.
I don't really like music much. I was like, I was dying.
She chucked the ex's slippers like into the corner.
Yep.
And put weird pictures. But that to me, as creepy as it is, if you're really thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Rearrange all the stuffed animals. Why does this grown man have so many stuffed animals at his apartment?
You shut your mouth. It's normal. All right. It's a normal thing. A lot of adult
sitting around
males.
in his his
Undies.
tank and his
We
tidy
got a lot
whities.
of tidy whitey shots of old
So many tidy whities.
Tony
shots
Long,
hanging
dude.
out.
Tony Long and tidy whities. That was Tony Tidy Whitey's Long, is what I think we're gonna call him.
And then I guess because he at one point he mentioned his ex or something, she flooded his apartment. Is that the gist we
I
got
thought that
there?
was on an accident. I couldn't figure that out. So
I
you
couldn't-
think it was an
I couldn't-
accident?
It was
tell
unclear.
either.
We didn't see her do it.
I
Yes.
thought
But-
like the fish tank leaked or something, and I'm like, no, the fish tank's still fine.
I like
The
that
tap-
take though,
the
Pat.
tap was
I
on.
like that take.
I thought she was kind of mad at him because of something to do with his ex. I thought he brought it up or whatever, and so she's like, well, here's some punishment. I'm gonna flood your apartment.
She does seem like that crazy type that would just be like, oh yeah.
Jump on the fun facts. Apparently, they damaged the 2 apartments below that apartment when they flooded it, and those people sued the production company. But,
Well, they should have. That's
Yeah.
dumb.
yeah.
Maybe you should think about the fact that you're on the 3rd
It
floor.
is Wong Kar-wai, not thinking ahead. That's super surprising.
What did she replace his sardines with?
Yeah, why? Why did they do that? I don't understand that.
But what was it? She carefully removed the labels of one thing and put it on the other one.
Was it just a
But
different
I didn't
brand?
know what was in it. I didn't know
What
what
did
he
she
ended up
drug
eating.
him with in his water? Like, you need to go drink water, and then she puts 2
Yes.
pills in his water and puts it back
So
in
that
the
he'd fall
fridge.
asleep.
Did did she roofie him?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
it was so that he got a good night's sleep, though, because it's not like she came
Yes.
in there. He did
No,
get some
she was
sleep.
like, yeah, you just need to drink more water. So yeah, she gave him sleeping pills. So he'd feel like, oh, she gave me good advice. I slept through the night.
because
So
she
drink
also
this water.
Nuts.
This is a kooky lady.
I love this.
And she was hiding in the closet. It was just
so good.
strange but fun in that weird way. Also,
And
big
he
shout
was
out
just
to like
fine
the.
with it as it all
Oh yeah,
unrolled. He was like, well, okay.
yeah. There's something about that girl who just has clearly been breaking into my apartment, and maybe I do love her. Yeah. I was gonna say big shout out to the workers at like the place. Like the one guy was singing to the carrot. Like the background actors of that were
They're
really
kind of-
fun.
Those guys were funny. The cousin
And they
was
just
funny.
like were very easygoing about everything.
Yeah.
And like he was like the trope of like the uncle trying to set everybody up thing, but kind of wise, although he wasn't really that wise. I don't know. It was
He's like,
it was
you
just
should
fun,
really stop
weird background
focusing
characters.
on this one, and you need to talk to this girl down the street or something.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah, but then apparently when she freaked out when he decides he wants to go on a date with her and decides now is the time to go to California and leaves him a handwritten boarding pass
Yes, for a year later.
for a year later to location unknown because he threw it in or let it get rained on.
Yeah.
And that was weird. I was like, was he supposed to show up somewhere? It was a weird plan. It's like, it's like Sleepless in Seattle, but like without follow through.
Yeah.
And so she ends up just showing back up and they meet as he's decided to leave police work and turn that place into a new restaurant.
As one does.
As one
when
does.
Because
you
her cousin-
are waiting for.
Because her cousin gets a karaoke bar.
That's right.
Yeah.
100%.
And maybe they end up
California.
together and maybe they don't.
Yeah.
The end.
The end. Okay.
Wow.
Obviously, some themes here is trying to control what is not controllable. That's definitely a thing. Obviously, some themes here are
Speaking to inanimate object.
A lot of undiagnosed mental problems.
yeah, sure, I guess.
Possible multiple
maybe,
personality
yeah, whatever.
disorders.
It's you do what you gotta do. She's a music lover, obviously, but
Murderers are a good one night stand to get over your ex?
First of all, not murder, self-defense. Can't prove it. What's the difference? I suppose. Whatever.
You didn't
I
really
mean,
sleep.
she
did just
didn't
kill the
sleep
one
with
guy.
her. She just took a big nap.
Yeah, and he wasn't the one doing. He didn't roofie her.
I know,
unlike
it wasn't
some
a
other
one
people in
night
this
stand
film.
exactly.
He
but-
just
Yeah.
washed her shoes.
I want to wash your shoes.
I am guessing that he charged all that food to her. That's what I'm also
Boy,
guessing.
she
I don't
slept
know if
I
that's-
was kinda
so
wondering that,
deeply.
too.
Just so deeply through the movies.
It was a tough
the
day.
eating.
I know when you gotta murder some people for
shoe
getting
removal.
in the way of your drug business. It's exhausting. It
You
takes
need a good nap.
it
I
takes a
guess.
lot out of a girl. You know. I just kept waiting for her to take off her wig and glasses.
Well,
but
yeah,
they
she
never
slept
did
with
that.
the wig
They
and the
never
glasses and her
did
coat.
that.
The only thing that came off was her shoes.
All of that. I was waiting for the big reveal. Big
But
reveal.
yes, love.
All right.
Love that wasn't meant to be. That
Yes.
then is revealed to. There's better stuff on the horizon. I don't know.
Or it never existed in the first place because you're
Yes.
delusional.
Well,
There's a lot of that going on.
But that did exist. She knew. She was priming the pump. It worked out in the end. They all are happy. I don't understand. You guys say delusional. I say she's just planning.
Blissfully
Just
unaware.
planning. Just taking
Well, they
the
did
steps
find-
to make it happen.
There's also some like Benny and June to the second story of like these are both
Nice.
quirky people who find each other.
That complement each other's quirkiness.
Yes.
Oh, Benny and June. I finally watched that this last year. Yeah.
What'd
I
you
don't
think?
know. Yeah, that's another one. Anyways, that's an interesting take.
I think I still like that one.
I
but
think
don't
I
know.
still like it too. Anyways, we'll do Benny and June.
It's
sometime.
kind of wild
kinda
gambling
wild.
a human.
Not the best
In
looking
that
Aiden
movie.
Quinn.
No, but Johnny Depp still looks good.
He does.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, let's
Couple
talk
things that stood out in the second one. I just want to
Oh yeah.
mention.
Please do. I've got
The shot-
I want to get into so many of the fun facts because that's like I think the meat
shot
there.
after she leaves him or whatever, and he's putting the coin in like the jukebox, and he's so clearly. They do kind of a time lapsey thing, and they had him just do it really slowly, and they have people rushing by in the background to
Yes.
see like as
The
if time
slow,
moves.
yes.
But it's so clearly like him trying
Going
to
slow,
be
yeah.
slow.
I was thinking the
And
exact
it's
same
like
thing.
this will
Pat.
be a cool shot. This will be a cool shot.
Oh,
Like,
so
and it's like-
90s. So 90s.
Tony Love's
Yeah.
like, this better look cool.
yeah, and it's like, yeah, you did fine, but not worth it. Not worth it.
Yeah.
You say
And then do
We
you
should do
think
that shot
really
now.
the menu?
Okay, Brian, you run around.
Yeah,
Go.
you're around. We'll blur it.
No.
And then
Brian,
I'm
go.
not gonna
No,
be
you,
the one
you
that
run.
does
Here,
that.
I'll make a slow mo. You just keep running. Hold on. Hey, Pat, keep talking. Keep talking.
Hi. What are we doing?
Brian,
Oh,
keep
this is
running.
you
Keep running around.
Drinking.
Keep
I don't think this is
Running and
gonna-
running and running.
This is totally
This is
working
working.
great.
This
Yeah.
is doing great. Pat, keep going. I'll slow us
Eddie.
down.
Are
I'll slow us
you-
down later.
Seth, are you sincere that the menu, like we got, because that was the. You don't think they translated that?
Exactly right.
Properly?
What? No. Are you telling me that Hong Kong food doesn't translate directly
They
into English?
They just went to hot dog, pizza,
Yeah.
chef salad.
Yeah. Why would they
Because these
actually?
are the only what will people who speak English understand? Just
Exactly
those
right.
three things.
There's no way. There's no way that's what actually was served there. And they're speaking they're speaking Cantonese, so I have no clue. Like if it was Mandarin, I've been stoked because I'm like I could actually understand. I'm pretty good with Mandarin and food. Like me and food. My Mandarin shines through when we're ordering food.
I
Guys-
thought they were speaking Mandarin. On
He
the
loves the
narration.
Mandarin menu.
Yeah. Well, it's in characters. Characters are different than the spoken language, anyways. So it's everything all together.
But yeah, that is still
Riveting.
weird. Like the fact that so much of it was about food, and at the one place I don't know really what they served is kind of weirding me out.
Chef salad. I should actually look
So
into it
much
next
chef
year.
Why chef salad? Why? And fish and chips. That was a weird one.
Fish and chips.
Chips.
I mean, the guy at the hotel had like burgers and fries. Like there was legit burgers
Yeah.
and fries.
And
he
burgers
was
and
eating.
fries, like you can get that. That's like
So that's why I was like, is it hot dogs and pizza? Like, what? What
But it
is this
wasn't-
place?
It wasn't. I think they described it though as like a food mart. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
even a.
It's not like a full restaurant or a deli.
No, it's
Or
like
I guess
what
kind of a.
it's like what
yeah.
you'd get at 7-Eleven or Circle K. You know, you can
Yeah.
go get your chili dogs with the
Yeah. Behind the glass
Yeah.
wall. But yeah, that was the other one that just
But you don't get chef
Again,
salads at those places.
they said there's probably not a movie that says chef salad more than this movie said.
Or plays California Dreamin' more.
No,
Oh
for
my
sure.
gosh.
Oh, can we?
Luckily, that's a good song. 'Cause
Yeah.
By
otherwise
the end, I
punch.
was kind of done with it, like Pineapple.
Yeah, and it was loud. It was
Yeah.
also loud.
So according to Reddit, it was a hero place, or so it's like they're all wraps, like chef salad in the wrap, like that's what they were saying. So like all these things. So yeah,
I
again,
see.
there's no way.
That would make more sense to
Yeah.
be in tinfoil.
Yes, like I saw the English and just discounted it like immediately. Like
Yeah.
I'm so used to bad translations that I just
Yes.
discounted it. I didn't even think twice. Like.
They
Like
didn't.
they didn't even try.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter because they like what are they gonna say? I'm like, oh, you got the one with more falafel or less, or whatever it is. Like, there's not, and Hong Kong is so multicultural, and what a chef salad means in America probably has 17 different meanings depending on which country you're from. So even I don't think there'd be consistency across Hong Kong, depending on what side part of Hong Kong you're in. So there's that as well. So. Yeah,
It
no,
could have just had Thousand Island dressing.
Yeah,
And it
for
called
sure.
it a chef salad.
and that's a little more.
There you go.
I mean, if they had that, that's
And
good on them.
lettuce.
Good
And
on them.
Little lettuce.
Let us agree the translation's not perfect.
Let us move.
And
to
that
fun
even if
facts.
it was, we don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Let's move on to fun
There was
facts
some
because there's a
lettuce there,
lot of them, and I'm excited. And I, of course, have 1,000 sub stories to go with all of them. So
Oh, yay.
I know Mariah
Yeah,
loves
I
it when I
only-
go with this. It's so great.
I only have some,
Oh, I got
but we can go in any order.
it. Okay, Pat, start us off. And then
Well,
Mariah, you go next.
as we know from our friend Wong Kar Wai,
Oh yeah.
scripts are overrated.
Who needs to plan ahead? Ha!
But also, who needs that much time to make a movie?
For
Apparently,
real. For real.
This
Was this
movie
edited in 23 days? No, just shot. It was shot in
Yes.
23 days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
shot
first of
and
all-
edited.
No, it just
Oh.
says shot.
No, I saw a different thing that said shot and edited. in
No
the 20
way.
days.
I call false. False.
I mean, he could have.
So
I
it-
could have. I guess.
because he was on like hiatus or downtime for his
in between
epic
two movies.
Yeah,
Marshall,
Ashes,
on a break.
Ashes of Time.
something.
Yep. Ashes of
Yeah,
Time.
Ashes of Time. And thought there's too much downtime. I better make another movie in that downtime.
My man.
And so supposedly he, well, there wasn't a script, so he'd kind of pre-write the next scene stuff the night ahead. Did a lot of improvisation, I think. And so, that's why the movie doesn't necessarily have a plot-based engine like you might expect. And it seemed like the second story maybe more than the first. So the first probably had some amount of
Forethought.
a drug story or whatever.
Which is
But
so
I
funny
actually
because the
think for
second
him it
was
worked.
so much
is
better.
Yeah.
So much
Yes.
better.
no,
You write it in a day, this is the better half.
we could argue that Wong Kar Wai is better not planned.
Yeah.
That's what we could actually
Yeah.
argue.
And then there was maybe going to be 3 parts to this movie.
I'm glad
and
they
the third
didn't do
part
that.
he ended up just making a different movie out of, which is Fallen Angels, which he made
Yeah.
the next year.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
with our
I started
first
watching
lead.
that, and I was like, "This could."
It's
except
in the
for
same.
except for the
He's like a
cinematography
hitman or
choices, it was like just on a GoPro the whole time. Apparently,
But this is the one. So the third story was about like a drug dealer
yeah,
love
No, the third story was like a hitman,
Hitman.
and
Hitman.
something else,
drugs.
and a girl.
Women.
But I think some kind of
yeah,
probably, unlucky in love weirdo situation.
He probably talks to his gun.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
You're looking sad today.
Yeah.
You need to work out more.
You want to kill
don't wanna
somebody?
don't let yourself go like this.
Yeah. And then
So
the other one we touched on real quick, and Seth, great segue mentioning the GoPro. The two stories had two different cinematographers. I think we've watched other movies that kind of did this, but I always like those choices. Like, we're going to make these feel like distinct stories visually. I think mostly we lost the slow shutter speed, and otherwise I probably couldn't tell. But there you go. I think those are the bulk of what I have. Oh, the third one, which I can't verify. So the internet's kind of lying.
Ooh, I like.
But
these
someone
ones.
thought Bridget Lynn either came out of retirement to do this movie, but was also filming Ashes of Time at the same time because she's in that movie, or she was working on a period piece as she was coming in, and they didn't have time to do her makeup and stuff, which is why she wears a trench coat, a wig, and sunglasses the entire time to cover up her period style makeup.
Like,
for
I
her
couldn't
shooting
even
days.
bother.
I'm not gonna
changing
lie.
my
She
costume.
didn't look good.
How would you know? She just
Bridget
looked
Lynn is
covered up.
very pretty, but she didn't look good in this movie. And what little you saw
yeah,
of
I don't know
her
if you
wasn't
could see.
pretty.
Well, it was a bad wig. It was a
Yeah.
weird wig.
It was, but like her lines were accentuated in not like a flattering way. Like you could see her age a little bit
Sure.
more than you normally can, which the period piece makes
Yeah.
a little more sense. By the way, my man Christopher Doyle is the cinematographer for the first part from one of my favorite movies of all time, Hero. Same cinematographer. Oh yeah. And of course he was also in The Mood for Love, and yeah, so he's
Apparently,
like,
it was his apartment that they actually were shooting.
Yeah.
oh,
the
that's so
cop's
cool.
apartment.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I gotta say. Like, it's pretty cool to be a cinematographer of his caliber. He has his own Chinese name because he's filmed so many like Wong Kar-wai movies and Hong Kong movies. So like in Mandarin, he has his Du Kefeng, or I don't know, I can't pronounce the Cantonese, or Do Hung Feng in Cantonese. That's how much he's in Chinese movies, because they always only have characters for the credits. And so he's got his own freaking Chinese name in movies. I think that's so
that's
awesome.
pretty cool.
Not bad for an Australian. Way to go. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie,
Yeah.
I have one fun
Oi,
fact
oi, oi.
Oi, oi, oi.
because I think Pat took most of the ones I knew about.
Sorry, Mariah.
It's okay. This one's kind of my favorite one. So the Cranberries cover in Cantonese is actually performed by Fei Wong.
Wong Fei, baby. So I have heard,
Wong
so
Fei.
this is
Fei
where
Wong.
Fei Wong. I know. Same. I heard that in China way before I saw this movie. So like that
Yeah.
song, I was
I
aware
assume it would have been
of.
popular at the time.
Oh, because it was popular. Like
She did a great job.
she kills it. Like if I could have seen her live, I would have been stoked. Because she's a diva. She's like one of those like cool divas. Like that would be like, because Bjork to Iceland is what she is to China. It's hard with America because we are the land of diva pop stars.
Yeah.
We don't
There are
like
too many.
we have too many.
choose.
Like I don't even know who would you say is the most famous female pop star in America's history. Like what do? Do you go Madonna? Do you go Whitney Houston? Do you go like where do you go? Like we have too many options.
Well, in the 90s too, you're thinking like, oh, Alanis Morissette, or you're thinking.
Okay, grunge. No one's thinking
No,
Alanis
no,
Morissette.
but I'm thinking 90s
No one's
popularity.
thinking- okay, yeah, no. Alanis Morissette is not in the
She's
conversation of divas.
She sure was. Well, no, she's
First of
not
all,
a
she's
diva.
Canadian. She doesn't count. That song was about Dave Coulier, by the way.
Yeah, we know.
Okay.
She was also on You Can't Do That on Television as a child.
Alanis Morissette, American pop diva. Come on now. Not even close.
I mean, in the
Hello.
90s, she was all over MTV.
Gwen Stefani.
Better.
Yeah,
Better. At least she's from Fullerton.
no
The
doubt.
snob.
Folks, if you don't know, I'm maybe a movie snob and also a music snob.
A
No
touch.
doubt. I guess not liking Gwen Stefani is not snobby at all. Actually, I take that back. I've lost all cred. Okay, so we've talked about the 23 Days. We talked about the taking a break to make this movie, and it's arguably Wong Kar-wai's second best movie, next to In the Mood for Love, which is his best.
And the other one we watched.
And it's really much better than this. What?
Episode.
Who said that?
So much better.
Who said that? I'm so glad you brought up Wong Fei because that song, she covers really cool songs. Like I went through her like concerts to see what songs she sang in English because Wong Fei started as, what was her name? It was something weird. But she started as a Cantonese singer, but she's from like Beijing area. She's from mainland China. And that's kind of a big deal because a lot of pop stars usually come from Taiwan because Taiwan didn't have to deal with the Cultural Revolution or didn't have to deal with any of that stuff, right? So they actually had a pop scene like 20 years before mainland China did. So the fact that Wong Fei came from mainland China, she studied in Hong Kong. Her first release was in Canada. She also studied in L.A. And she also learned her English there. And then she went back to become a pop star in, I believe, Hong Kong again. And the crazy part to me is seeing her speak Cantonese this whole film. She's not speaking in Mandarin, which is her first language. So she speaks all these languages like as a 2 or 3. So for me, I was just dorking out as like a Wong Fei fanboy, thinking of like, this is a very cool, quirky movie to be known for, aside from being a pop star. Like this is not Crossroads. This is not like some movie that you just get to have because you are Britney Spears. This is a very cool director, one of the best of all time, that you get to play a very fun, quirky character that's going to be known for a long time. So I was very just kind of taken aback by that. No offense to Bodyguard, but
Or Madonna and Dick Tracy.
hey, that's a good role, actually. That's actually legit. that's a really
I
good
watched
role.
that movie a
No
lot
face.
of times.
It's really disturbing when you realize she's no face. Spoilers. More to me, I give Madonna more A League of Their Own.
Oh, that's a good one
It's
too.
also
Yeah.
good.
Madonna actually has been pretty prolific in the movie scene, and even
Evita, I think people made a big deal about.
But again, like Madonna legitimately is a decent actress. Like,
Yeah.
like legitimately. Wong Fei, this was like her movie. This is like the movie she's like,
Yeah.
and it was a very fun piece of like. So I guess it would be more like Bjork and Dancer in the Dark. So I'll give you that, Mariah. You've won this round, but we'll come back again. Don't you worry.
Thank you.
The other thing. Sorry, I
go for it.
forgot. I had some more evidence
I've got
about my
more.
like the internet not really lying or kind of lying about her retirement.
Okay.
Bridget Lynn. Bridget Lynn?
We're so over
Yeah,
it.
Bridget Lynn.
Oh,
She was in.
She's 70, Pat. Get over her.
She's credited in 6 movies that came out in 1994.
So this
So
was
she
like,
really was a comeback. This is like
what
she
was
came
the
back
break?
hardcore.
And
How long was she out of it before she was doing 1994?
she also did 6 movies in 93. She's
So
And-
she went into retirement.
What is going on now?
6 movies in 92.
Okay, this
This lady worked. So she stopped. She basically stopped after 94, and she was in.
Nice.
She just narrated a couple things. So like this is the end of her run. But like that was insane. Like whatever the Hong Kong movie scene was,
And
had
she's
her busy.
70 now, so she was only 40 at the time.
Yeah, but that's like she's not like a starlet. Like you know what I mean? So she's on the end of her. Like to be a sex symbol in Hollywood, or Hong Kong.
So I missed my window. That's what you're saying. Over the hill.
Ain't that the way?
Oh,
The hill's
dear.
long
Of course,
gone. It's way
in
behind the
Ashes
Ferrari.
of Time,
She was a-
which again came out in 94, she looks young. So I don't know. Her being
Hey.
old.
Good for her.
I mean,
Good
yeah,
for
she
her.
was
Way to
old
go.
compared to the guy, right, who's 25. Right?
Yeah,
She's
that's the hard part. It's like she's
40.
going with his 25-year-old. Like,
Well, and he was actually 20 when they filmed this.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, he
Yes.
played a 25-year-old.
I'm not gonna lie.
Let's
The
not-
whole time I saw them together, I'm like, this is awkward. Like, it looks like you're just trying to hit on some old lady in a bar.
It's
Like,
Harold
this is,
and Maude right here.
This is for real.
Yeah.
I was just like, this
Well,
isn't
he
right.
is. Everything about him was creepy.
Mm-mm.
So that's just par for the course.
See, you say creepy. I say immature. I was like, this is some young kid trying to be like hot stuff. Like, I don't know. Creepy, yes, but he's also just like not understanding what it is to be like a normal person.
Is that hitting home a little bit?
Huh?
Is that hit home a little bit?
No, I was never
I
that.
didn't
out-
find
Somebody's
it.
real
What I-
defensive.
When I was 20, I
You
was,
say creepy.
I
I
say-
say.
I called every woman I've ever known in my life one night to find a date.
You know what? My fourth
fine.
grade crush
Do you
did
feel
not,
attacked?
did not mind when I called her. Okay, when I called my fourth grade crush, she did not mind. Let's talk about Quentin Tarantino, folks, because no one's brought up this fun fact. Thank you.
Yep.
Much like my movie Hero, which was Quentin Tarantino's Hero, he apparently loves some Chinese movies of this era because he also helped with the distribution of this movie as well. Pretty impressive.
Did he start a new production company to do it, or
I don't
did
think
he
so.
just
He said
kind
it
of
was through.
adopt?
I don't know if Rolling Thunder was before this or after that, but it was under the Rolling Thunder label. So I don't know. I have to do some.
I saw
research on
something
that
about
one.
that, Mariah, too. So there
Like
could
he
be something.
created. I
It was
thought he
early
created
and
something.
yeah, I think he did some effort to try and get
Yeah.
this movie to the States.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good job. Good job.
Pretty sweet. Let's see. The other thing is, of course, this is this was like a aesthetic changing film in China. Like this is kind of a big deal. Like Chungking Express, I heard about from people who love China stuff. Like it was kind of like, if you like China film, you should know Chungking Express. So now I feel like I'm a little more of a snobby China fan by knowing this movie as well.
Yeah. I mean, I liked the fact that they used the two different kind of locations, and then one half of it filmed at night and one filmed during the day, even though they're like similar storylines.
Yes.
I mean, that was
Yeah, conceptually, there's a lot of interesting stuff about this movie.
I still am
think
not a fan
you
of
could
the first story.
Throw away the first one and
Yeah.
expand the second one.
Except for a few comic elements, but
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and it's like such a small movie in a lot of ways, right? Like you run around in the first story a little bit, but most of the things take place in certainly the second story, either his apartment or the shop.
Must have been a lot
And it's
easier
like
to film. I can't imagine
not
because they
a lot
filmed
going
on
on.
location at the Chungking Mansion at the Sim Sha Sui like location. Like they were there. Like that place is insane. So like that's impressive. So yeah. Again, do we talk about the title? Do we talk about the title before we started recording? Because even the title to me, I was like, why is it called Chungking Express? Because to me,
We
it made
talked
no
about it.
sense
I don't know if we talked about it.
on air. So the Chungking Express talks about the Chungking Mansions, which is a big building that it's like a multicultural area, but then the restaurant is like the Express restaurant. Is that right? Did I get that right? So that's why it's called the
Midnight
Chungking
Express.
Midnight Express. So that's why it's called the Chungking Express. It's like those are the two things because the restaurant's the only thing that has a similar thing between these two stories. Besides the themes are also the same. So yeah, love this. Loved. It's like the last of Hong Kong. It's the last of Hong Kong before the handover. It's Wong Kar-wai's movie that kind of made him famous. In the Mood for Love cemented him as like one of the greatest of all time, but this is the movie that kind of got him international acclaim all the way around. Loved the weirdness.
I think it's what's
of it.
interesting, having seen two Wong Kar-wai movies that are seemingly very improvisational. It's sort of uncommon, certainly in America or even the West. Improvisational comedies are a thing,
Yeah,
but
especially now.
improvisational like dramas or dramedies or whatever are not as
yeah.
common. And so it's interesting that he's kind of able to make anything that's somewhat coherent, as much as I want to give him grief. Like there is something charming about his sort of just stringing together,
I
you know,
think that
whatever
might be
comes
where,
to him
like,
that day.
I think that might be where the talk to inanimate objects kind of thing
That was
enters,
so
and
funny.
like you need to be kind of off in a way that makes
Yeah, talk to this piece of soap.
yeah.
What would you say to it?
And this like totally ragged piece of cloth that
Yeah.
Why are you
Oh, that was a
crying?
gross pizza. That felt very single man
I loved
situation.
it. It was perfect.
And it's like this eroding washcloth. Horrifying.
Uh,
and the stuffies.
and mad
All the
shout out to
stuffies.
William Chang because he's the one who edits all of Wong Kar-wai's movies. So I don't know how the heck he has can figure it out to like put it together.
I think
as,
he
like,
does a lot of
coherent
work.
thing.
He made good use of the spinning CDs in the jukebox.
Yes, he did.
Shot.
That shot was a couple times for sure.
Yeah. What if we
yeah.
went back to that shot?
Yeah, let's like,
a
go
good
back to
transitional
this one
moment.
again. Yeah, exactly right. He also apparently he also was served as several other things. He was the set design and the wardrobe. So him and Wong Kar-wai are like, let's just make something. Let's go.
Like,
Okay.
what are you doing next week? Do you want
guess
to
I'm
make
making
a movie?
Cool. Yeah, let's do it.
I don't know
Yeah,
what it's going to be
I'm-
about, but let's do it here.
So
I'm
great.
bored over the holidays, so let's make a movie.
Okay, guys. So this has been Wong Kar-wai's. Any other fun facts before we go on our last takes?
I don't think so. I still want to know what she replaced the sardines with.
I think it was just a brand. I think she went
To
with one
be
brand and another. I
determined.
don't know if one's like a spicy one, one's like a regular. That's my thought. It's just a
That's
control
silly.
thing. She's like because he said he had the line in the movie. Even
Well,
these,
he knew
these
he
taste
could
difference.
taste slightly different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're obviously still sardines. So I think it's just a brand taste thing. I was
Okay.
confused because they weren't Del Monte. That's the only thing I was confused about.
Do they make sardines?
I'm sure they can.
They
somewhere.
could.
I'm sure they could. All right, guys. Takeaways. What is your final word on Chungking Express?
Watch In the Mood for Love.
In the Mood for Love feels so coherent compared to this.
And start this 45 minutes in.
Whoa, disagree.
What?
I mean, you don't get the full,
You gotta
you know,
gotta suffer.
understanding
You gotta-
of
yeah.
You have
Wong
to
Kar-wai.
suffer through the first
I
part.
love the guy in the first part. I love him.
He's fine.
He's
The
great.
Story
He's
is
not okay. He needs to go seek help.
yeah.
Oh, he's so funny. I still want the scene where him and Tony Leung's character are together. Like, I still yearn for that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
like
one
that
he's
would be
yapping
so
about
fun.
his love, and Tony
It-
Leung's being all
this would
solemn
be
about
the exactly right. Like this would be a buddy cop movie into the sequel.
Well,
Like,
they do sit.
it
they are
writes
sitting
itself.
together at lunch one day,
It writes
and he
itself.
says, "I'm on his beat now," or like, "I'm on
Yeah.
his team." Or
Wait,
whatever.
he was sitting on that.
They're both sitting at the same table.
I didn't see that.
When she
I
like
didn't
runs up,
recognize that either.
No.
Yeah.
she walks up and they're talking, and she looks over and said something to him, and
Seriously,
he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm working his thing now," or she said, "Your schedule
I know the
changed," or
scene.
something. Yeah, he
I
like,
didn't recognize the other guy.
yeah,
what?
yeah. Go back.
Okay, I will.
I
Character.
dare
Okay.
This
you.
is you
Guys.
just trying to connect dots
Made you look.
that aren't there.
I hope it's not there. That'd be
Yeah,
funnier.
I mean, this is more fun than In the Mood for Love. In the Mood for Love is very serious, very drama, and this actually is quirky and fun, as weird, as kind of flawed as the fun is and the quirks are.
Yeah.
It is like
I
the
think,
second
yeah,
half. I was like,
watch-
I'm into this part.
Yeah. The second half for
Even
sure. The
though
last
they
10
have
minutes I
problems.
was really invested in too. It was like, okay, this is feeling like something's
The
going to
thing.
resolve almost.
I think it shows a nice range of Wong Kar-wai's like style between the two, and of course, not even including his like period epic, wushu stuff or wuxia. How do you say it, Seth?
Wuxia.
Wuxia.
Oh,
So the fact that he does all those kind of things
Well,
is pretty wild.
Wushu means martial arts.
Right,
and
but
wuxia,
the movies
yeah.
with the wire work.
So that's why I was like, both work, like wuxia
Yeah.
or wushu movies.
Because isn't Ashes of Time a wuxia?
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So he was making that. This is sort of like Spielberg making Schindler's List and Jurassic Park in the same year.
Same time. Yes. Nice, Pat. Ooh.
This is, he's
work.
doing Ashes of Time and Chungking Express at the same,
Yeah. That's
within
great.
each other.
I like that.
yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Way to
But yeah, In the Mood for
compartmentalize.
Love. If you have one Wong Kar-wai, In the Mood for Love. If you want a sampling of some other stuff, I guess
This is the second Wong Kar-wai movie you have to watch, though. I watched the other one, and it's a lot. It's rougher. Just to be real, like this feels.
Also,
more,
I think
like you still have great characters. You have a very fun situation.
Tony Lung's probably not in that other one, is he? Is
No.
that the problem?
Yes,
You need
100%.
Tony Lung with,
and you don't
Wong
have
We're
a freaking
missing-
pop diva in it either. So yeah,
Right.
0 for 2.
Yeah.
That's true. This one does bring a certain something.
A little je ne sais
These
quoi.
movies have made me fall more in love with Tony Lung. He's very charming.
You like
Yeah.
Tony Lung so much.
I'd kind of watch anything with him, I think.
And this is Hong Kong nostalgia. Like I'm so glad this movie exists because for all of us Hong Kong lovers, old Hong Kong lovers, it's a nostalgia bit that's like I'm so glad they captured this because that Hong Kong doesn't exist anymore. It is long gone.
Yeah.
So it's a very fun thing.
Hong Kong, long gone.
Hong Kong is long gone. So sad. Much love to my Hong Kong friends because I've had so many good memories in Hong Kong. So that's why I'm having a
moment.
Having a moment here,
Yeah.
folks. For me, this was so much fun. This is a necessity if you are a China, Hong Kong cinema movie lover. It is very much it checks all the boxes for weirdness, culturally accurate, fun intercultural moments, and frankly, weird snobby moviness. This is the perfect snobby movie for Wong Kar-wai, and maybe even snobbier than In the Mood for Love because it's just a little bit more niche, a little bit more weird, and a whole lot more just different than any movie you'll see. In the Mood for Love looks like other movies. It still has a Wong Kar-wai feel, obviously, because nothing is like, and it is. In the Mood for Love is probably obviously a better movie just because it's unlike anything you've ever seen. It feels more mature. This just feels just different. Just
Things
different than almost
happen.
anything you see. Yeah, those things are happening. You don't know why, and at the end, you still don't know why. But it's cool. Like it's not. I'm not sad I watched this. I think if you want to be a film snob and know the scene, this has got to be on your must-watch list. Up there with In the Mood for Love. Up there with Infernal Affairs. Like this is one of those movies you got to watch to appreciate Hong Kong cinema. So there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Is it snobby? Yes.
Many would
say so. I can't imagine someone say this is not a movie that makes you more snobby. This is 100% a movie that makes you more snobby. So
I think so.
yeah. I enjoyed my time watching this movie. Obviously, in case you
Good.
guys couldn't tell
Good,
by
yeah.
everything about me. Guys, until next week, we'll be watching another movie. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. My name's Seth. I'm joined here in studio with,
Mariah.
and from a land afar,
Pat.
no Patrick. He just doesn't want to do Patrick anymore. It's
I
out.
don't like
Pat.
saying Patrick.
He's comfortable now.
My name is Sir Patrick. Okay, guys. Till next week. This is How to Be a Movie Snob. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
再见。